Thank you, and good morning. 2 years ago, each of us came to Wharton from lives that were already working, careers that were moving, paths that made sense, roles we were good at, and for some, stages even bigger than the one I'm honored to stand on today. But if there's one thing this journey has taught us, is that there's a difference between simply moving forward and truly growing. We didn't come here just to keep playing those roles, to keep playing those parts. We came here to start writing the script, and we didn't do it alone. To our families, friends, supporters, thank you for the sacrifices you made so we could be here. This journey may be ours, but the cost was shared. Today, we celebrate not just what we've accomplished, but who we've become and who we're still becoming. I am so proud to introduce our esteemed administration, faculty, and my fellow graduates of the Wharton MBA for Executives 50th class. Thank you.
It is so, woo! It is so wonderful to be here today to celebrate the Wemba class of 2026. As we come together to celebrate your individual and collective successes, we also recognize this as a pivotal moment in your educational and professional journeys. But first, let's not overlook the fact that many of you are sitting here today in large part because of the unwavering support of a multitude of people, many of whom join us today to celebrate you. So, without further ado, let me welcome our guests, the friends and families of our graduates. It's been a long journey to get here, and you've been with our graduates every step of the way. So this achievement is shared with all of you. Welcome also to the many dedicated Wharton faculty and staff who are here today in support of these tremendous students. And while we're here, I'd like to stay on this topic of shared experiences. We often like to think of our careers as individual pursuits, defined by our own ambition, our own effort, our own achievements. But the truth is that that's simply not the case. No one gets to the end of the journey alone. Every step is shared and shaped by the people around us. Today, we naturally recognize the family and friends who've supported you, those sitting in this room and cheering you on from afar. But there are also others whose impact is just as meaningful. Colleagues, mentors, managers, and teammates who challenged you, guided you, opened doors, and helped you navigate obstacles along the way. Your success will not be a solo accomplishment. It will be the product of a community that believed in you, invested in you, and grew alongside you. My research over the years has focused on the importance of relationships in building successful careers. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it's been especially on my mind as I spend my 26th year here at Wharton. During that time, I've been fortunate to build deep and lasting friendships with extraordinary people, including my dear friend and colleague, Mauro Guillen. I would not be here today without them. Not all of them look like me, believe like me, or even agree with me, especially during some of our more spirited debates. But we've found common ground and mutual respect, and that's what has allowed our relationships to flourish. Finding people you genuinely trust and care about can buffer you from the chaos of the world and sustain you through both the highs and the lows of your career. It's especially important in the world we're living in now, with AI and social media. Who can you trust? What can you trust? The verifiability of information is more important than ever, and relationships provide a foundation for trust in an ever-changing world. And this problem is not new to our time. In fact, it's one the philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries. It took a conversation with my son, Jacob, who recently took a course on the philosophy of friendship to remind me of this fact. Here I am, after years of research and countless studies on relationships, being pointed back to ideas explored all the way back in ancient Greece. There's something humbling in that. Aristotle, for example, wrote extensively about friendship, arguing that it's not just a social luxury, but a central component of a meaningful life. Long before we had data, models, analytics, and memes, he recognized that those who we surround ourselves with shape who we become. And so, while the tools and language we use today may be more sophisticated, the fundamental question remains the same. How do we build relationships that sustain us, challenge us, and ultimately help us lead better lives? Aristotle framed this problem through the lens of virtue, the idea that doing what is morally good ultimately leads to a better life. He saw friendship itself as providing a moral opportunity essential to both happiness and flourishing. He described 3 types of friendship. First, friendships of utility, built on mutual benefit, like professional relationships, which often last only as long as the benefit does. These are common in our work lives. Second, friendships of pleasure, based on shared enjoyment or interests, meaningful and important, but sometimes temporary. These can often be seen in peer relationships at work. And third, friendships of virtue. These are grounded in character, where the goal is not what you gain, but who you become. You bring out the best in one another, and the connection endures because it's rooted in mutual respect and growth. These are the relationships that last, and the ones that most profoundly shape not just your life, but also your career. How to navigate and build friendships at work is a question that I've spent the last 2 decades thinking about. For example, one of my recent papers is called Friends Without Benefits, The Dark Side of Friendship at Work. And as a result, I explore the complex dynamic of work relationships. They are necessary and important, but they are not always simple. Sometimes they're messy, sometimes they don't work out. But they have to be intentionally cultivated and nourished. And let's be honest, it's hard enough to find people that you even want to be friends with, let alone figure out how to build those friendships. And it doesn't get easier. As we get older, our circles shrink, and we get more set in our ways. But I'd like to think that Wharton gives you an advantage. You've been surrounded by people from all over the world, from different industries, with different perspectives and experiences. You've been put into team-based projects where you've had to navigate disagreement, resolve conflict, and still deliver results together. While I'm here today in my role as Deputy Dean, last year, I had the pleasure of teaching Management 6100, Foundations of Teamwork and Leadership, to half of this WEMBA class. It was the first class taken by every WEMBA student. We put you into teams to run the simulated electric car company. And y'all remember that. And while most of you didn't even know each other, you didn't always agree, and yet you figured it out together. In that process, some of you built relationships that will last a lifetime. Others may have experienced real conflict, but even that is valuable. Learning how to navigate those moments is part of what makes relationships durable. Over your 2 years together, you've had many more opportunities to learn from our exceptional faculty and each other. You've been shaped by mentors and by peers. The mentor relationship is a powerful example of how professional ties can evolve into something deeper and more enduring. Aristotle himself was shaped by his mentor, Plato, a student of Socrates, incorporating many of their teachings into his own profound understanding of the world. And mentor relationships are great examples of a timeless truth. The way you treat people and nurture relationships fundamentally influences both your work and your life. In today's modern world, we sometimes see these ideas about relationships expressed more simply than philosophers or researchers could ever do. Oprah Winfrey, for example, captures in plain language what Aristotle spent pages trying to explain about meaningful connection. Oprah once famously said, "Lots of people want to ride in the limo with you, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down." In moments of setback, we may not be able to fix everything for one another, but we can remind ourselves of our value, our worth, and our shared humanity. The willingness to get out of the limo and take the bus with someone reflects the very essence of what Aristotle would call a virtue friendship, a relationship grounded in commitment, not convenience. As you move forward in your lives and careers, there will be low moments. Failure is part of most of our journeys. Rebounding from failure is always easier when you're not alone. And it's worth reframing how we think about success. Success is not only about what you achieve, it's about the relationships you build, sustain, and carry with you as life takes twists and turns. Some of you may have already found those people, perhaps even here at Wharton. Others may still be searching, but the real lesson is this: it's not just about finding your people, it's about investing in them. Relationships, like any meaningful business investment, require time, energy, and care. And when you commit to that investment, the returns can be extraordinary. They say that once you've attended Wharton, it never really leaves you. And I hope that's true, because what you've built here is not just knowledge, but a foundation of relationships that will carry you forward. It's more than a LinkedIn network. It's a shared set of experiences. This moment, your graduation, is a pause to celebrate, even amid the uncertainty of the world around us, and to look ahead with intention. As you do, remember, success in your career and in your life is not a solo endeavor. As Aristotle noted, you will build many kinds of relationships along the way. Those of utility, those of shared joy, but it is the virtue friendships grounded in trust, character, and mutual growth that will sustain you and define you. So, use all of your intelligence, all of your skill, and all of your humanity to build a bigger table, one that makes room for those deeper, more meaningful connections. Invest in them, because when you do, you don't just elevate your own path, you strengthen the paths of others and create the kind of success that lasts. Find the people that will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. On behalf of the entire Wharton School, congratulations to the class of 2026. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce your graduation day speaker, Ekdeep Singh. Ekdeep is a graduate of Wharton's Wemba program and an expert in the global consumer goods market. He began his career at Procter & Gamble, where he spent 14 years building deep expertise in the global consumer goods industry. During this time, he developed a strong foundation in brand management, operations, and international business, gaining experience across multiple markets. He then joined the L'Oreal Group, where he spent 6 years in senior leadership roles, including serving as president. At L'Oreal, he worked across both the consumer products and luxury divisions in North America, further expanding his leadership scope and sharpening his focus on brand growth and market strategy. In 2020, Ekdeep joined Mars as regional president for North America for Mars Pet Nutrition. In his role, he led a period of significant growth by driving digital transformation, accelerating innovation, and leveraging data to enhance business performance. He also emphasized building strategic partnerships and fostering a more inclusive workplace culture. Today, Ekdeep serves as global president of Mars Pet Nutrition, where he oversees one of Mars's largest businesses and some of the world's leading pet food brands. Ekdeep also serves on the advisory board of the J.H. Baker Retailing Center, an interdisciplinary industry research center supporting the retail industry. We are incredibly fortunate to have him here with us today. Please join me in welcoming your speaker, Wharton alumnus, Ekdeep Singh.
Thank you, Deputy Dean Rothbard. Before I say a word to the graduates, I want to address the families. Your husbands, your wives, your children, the people who held things together while someone they loved disappeared into classrooms and case studies on the weekends, who ate some dinners alone, who stepped up without a degree to show for it, so that someone else could have one. You don't get a diploma today, but none of this happens without you because everything starts with family. So let's take a moment to just give a round of applause to the families here. "50 years ago, someone made a bet. The bet was this, that the people already changing the world deserved a chance to understand it more deeply, that experience and education weren't trade-offs, they were a multiplier, that wisdom earned in boardrooms and budget meetings combined with rigorous intellectual challenge could produce something rare, something the world actually needs. 50 classes later, you are a proof that that bet was right. I know what it took to get here, not in abstract, but exactly. I'm a Wharton Wemba graduate, class, this was Wemba 32. I know the early mornings, the late nights, the moments midway through when you wonder, why are you doing this while running teams, raising a family, and writing papers at the same time? And here's your answer. And I want to give it to you in 3 words. Not because business loves frameworks, but because these are the things that have gotten you here and that will be most critical for you moving forward. So the 3 words are curiosity, humility, and courage. Let's start with curiosity. We are living through the most profound technological disruption in a century. And the great irony in this, the more powerful the machines become, the more desperately the world needs human curiosity. Not the kind of curiosity that consumes information, the kind that asks better questions, that notices what a model cannot see, that looks at an empty site and imagines what isn't there yet. An architect doesn't optimize an existing building. An architect looks at a blank space and sees a future that no one else can see yet. And that takes responsibility for making it real. The leaders who will matter the most in the next decade are not the ones who will be the best at using AI. They are the ones who will be the most curious about what AI cannot answer, who ask the questions behind the questions, who genuinely stay fascinated by the world long after the world has told them they should have already figured it out. You are not observers of this moment, you are its architects. And that stays with staying curious. Second, humility. The hardest thing I know about experienced leadership is that success is a dangerous neighborhood. Not because success makes you complacent, most of you are too driven for that, but because success gives you an identity, and defending a past self is a full-time job. It doesn't leave much room for a future one. Consider this: Roger Federer, one of the best professionals of our time, in 1,500 professional matches, won 80% of them, but he only won 54% of individual points he played. So the greatest player of his generation nearly lost half of every point he ever played and still won every match. The margin between excellence and failure is not perfection. It's the willingness to lose a point, let it go completely, and fully commit to the next one. That is humility, not smallness, not self-doubt, the radical willingness to be a beginner again, to be wrong, to not know, to change your mind in public when it matters. The world is going to keep changing faster than any of us are comfortable with. The shelf life of a skill, any skill, is shrinking. And in that world, the leaders who thrive will not be the ones best at defending what they built. They will be the ones most willing to become something new. Reinvention is not a crisis, it's a practice. And you just spent 2 years proving you can do that, questioning assumptions you've held for decades, changing your minds in public, figuring it out by doing. This is humility in action. Keep practicing it. And finally, courage. Here's what I believe, and I want to say it plainly. The greatest unsolved problems in the world are not waiting for more technology. They are not waiting for more capital. They are waiting for leaders with the courage to go after them. Climate, trust in institutions, geopolitical conflicts, health systems under strain, the fracturing of shared reality. These are not engineering problems. They are human problems, coordination problems, vision problems, and above all, courage problems. Courage for a leader is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to be accountable, to say what you actually believe when the room would prefer silence, to take a long view when every incentive in the system is pointing at the quarter. I want to give you one question to take with you. What would I build if I wasn't trying to protect what I've already built? The honest answer to that question is almost always where the most important work is. And the reason most leaders never ask it is because the answer is expensive. It requires letting go. It requires courage. You have something rare, the trust of organizations already at scale. That trust is an asset. The question is whether you spend it maintaining the status quo or whether you use it to pull the future forward. The world doesn't need more optimized versions of existing things. It needs people with credibility, the experience, and the courage to build what doesn't exist yet. Lastly, I want to finish by saying something I don't usually say in stages like this. I am still figuring it out. 25 years across 3 companies, 7 countries, and more than a few hard calls, and I still have mornings where I wonder if I'm the right person in the room that I'm walking into. I still fail. Not the polished kind of failure you put in a case study. I've had moments in my career that were genuinely hard. Not hard in the way that looks good in retrospect, but hard in a way that tests whether you believe what you say you believe. Moments where the gap between who I appeared to be and how I felt inside was very wide. And what I have learned and continue to learn slowly, imperfectly, is that the gap doesn't close with more achievements. It closes through honesty, with yourself first, then with the people around you. So, curiosity, humility, courage. I put these words in front of you today not as someone who has mastered them. I put them in front of you as someone who is genuinely, daily, trying to live by them, and failing sometimes, and getting up. That is it, guys. That's what all of us, or any of us, are trying to do. What this program gave me, and what I believe has given you, is not certainty. It is the capacity to go and keep going without it. To act when you don't have all the answers. To lead people through uncertainty without pretending that uncertainty isn't there. You are not leaving here finished. You are leaving here ready. And as someone who has walked this path as your fellow alum, not your speaker, I am genuinely proud of you. Not for the degree, but who you showed up as to get it, and for who you leave here as to take on what's next. 50 years from now, someone will stand on a stage like this and talk about leaders who were the architects of this century. They will speak of people who stayed curious long after the world told them they should have all the answers, who had the humility to keep becoming someone new, who had the courage to build something that didn't exist yet. I believe people from this class will be in that conversation. Curiosity, humility, courage. You've been living these for 2 years. Don't stop now. The world is waiting. Now go build it. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Ikdeep, for those amazing, inspiring words for our graduates today. I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, your classmate and class of 2026 graduate, Derek Hedbany. Derek brings a rather unique background to the Wharton ecosystem. He began his career with a BFA in drama from NYU's Tisch School of Arts before making his mark in the media world, producing high visibility content for MTV, Nickelodeon, and HBO. Today, he serves as an executive producer and content lead at Google, where he oversees a talented team of creatives, producers, in bringing YouTube's largest global live events to life. So please join me now in welcoming Derek. Good to see you.
To the distinguished faculty, the shadow cohort of partners and families in the balcony, and to my brothers and sisters from the trenches, the Wharton Executive MBA class of 2026. I want you to close your eyes. Colin, close your eyes. I want to take you back to a moment of silence. It's early in the first year. You're sitting in an exam hall. Standing at the front is Professor Kent Smetters. He has just handed out the microeconomics midterm, a document that I'm pretty sure violates the Geneva Convention, respectfully. Next to it, you have a single 8.5 by 11 inch cheat sheet covered in microscopically small font that you are seriously considering borrowing a magnifying glass to read. He's got that little glint in his eye. He knows that he's about to shatter the ego of every high-achieving executive in this room. You turn the page. You read question 1 about isoquants and utility functions of competitive ice cream trucks. Your stomach drops, and you realize that you are a C-suite leader, a brand owner, a master of your domain, and you have absolutely no idea where to start. You can open your eyes now. I promise that exam can't hurt you anymore, okay? I remember looking around that day and I saw combat veterans, neurosurgeons, and VPs of finance. And then there was me, this guy with a BFA in drama. I felt like a glitch in the algorithm. I was terrified, but as I looked around to some of the quants in the room, I saw fear in your eyes too. Wharton broke us that day, and it was the best thing that could have happened to us. Because once the cracks appeared, the light could get in. And how we chased that light. We chased it out of Huntsman Hall and across the planet. From our leadership ventures in Antarctica to the mud pits of Quantico Marine Corps' training course, to our global modular courses, we turned the world into our classroom. Think about Global Business Week. We would stand in a bustling market square or a silent boardroom in a new country. Physically, we were all seeing the same things, but mentally, it was a kaleidoscope. In the humid chaos of Barcelona, where I saw a human drama of commerce, the operational director next to me saw a bottleneck in global logistics. In the silent precision of a boardroom in Stockholm, where the banker saw a stable asset class, the entrepreneur saw disruption waiting to happen. We took a singular experience and we refracted it through the lens of 100 different lives. We didn't just learn about a new culture, we learned through each other. Because we didn't curate our cohort. We couldn't control who was in the room. And when you can't control the room, you get better at listening. We saw beyond the data, we saw the spectrum. But this refraction didn't just happen in travels across the globe. It happened in the quiet intimacy of our learning teams. Your learning teams were your home base. It was a laboratory where you could stretch out hard skills, test out soft skills, and practice vulnerability within the same hour. It was the place where a surgeon could admit that he was bad at Excel, where the pre-seed VC startup founder could admit that she was burned out. We argued over regression models, sure, but we also bonded over broken hearts, career pivots, and the exhaustion of the sprint in our 2 a.m. WhatsApp threads. If time is the currency of adulthood, then the fact that we spent our precious hours holding each other together, it is an act of profound generosity. We learned that vulnerability isn't the opposite of leadership, it's the foundation of it. But we didn't do this alone. And now I need to speak to the people who kept the lights on at home. To our partners and our spouses and our parents, our children, we talk a lot about sunk cost and ROI, but the truth is you made the investment. For the last 2 years, you lived with phantoms. You were the ones who accepted a distracted nod at the dinner table because we were mentally wrestling with an LBO EBITDA projection. You were the ones who were solo parenting on Saturday mornings. To the families that held down the fort so that our classmates could navigate layoffs, illnesses, or even give birth to new babies during these past 2 years, your support allowed them to be borderline superhuman. I know that thank you may feel a little insufficient. The balance sheet of the last 2 years is heavy on your side, but please know this, that these diplomas may have our name on them, but so much of the equity belongs to you. You were the anchor that kept us from drifting away completely. We are returning to you today, not just with a credential, but also a deeper capacity for understanding. So, guys, where do we go from here? We aren't just any graduating class, we are WEMBA 50. We are the golden class. For 50 years, leaders have walked through those doors seeking correctness. But today, we leave equipped to exercise judgment under uncertainty. The Wharton bubble is about to pop, right? People can use that phrase to scare us. They say that the Wharton bubble is the safe space where we can be vulnerable. that it's gone. That we must return to the real world of sharp elbows and transactional laws. They say that we must leave the magic behind. Reject that boundary. If you look up at the banners around us or down at the diplomas that you're about to hold, you're going to see the Penn coat of arms. Etched into that shield is a phrase that has guided this university for centuries, a legacy that we must now embody. Leges sine moribus vene. Laws without morals are useless. But I want to challenge you to view moribus not just as morals, but as humanity. You have the laws now, you have the technical mastery, you have the network, but if you go back to your firm and you simply become a more efficient machine for generating profit, then all of this was vene. It was all useless. So my charge to you is to be a smuggler. Smuggle the spirit of this cohort out of this building and into your companies. When you walk into your boardroom on Monday, bring the kaleidoscope with you. Value the perspective that creates friction. Protect the learning team dynamics in your office and create a space where it's safe to say, I don't know. We spent 2 years building a fire, but a fire contained is eventually smothered. We didn't build it to stay warm, we built it to carry it. Because a fire isn't just for warmth, it provides light. And as we leave Wharton ready to refract that light into the darkest corners of the world, look to your left, look to your right. These are the true assets, and they are the only ones that will never depreciate. So hide the flame in your pocket, smuggle it home, and when the world gets dark, burn bright. Thank you, class of 2026.
I'm Mauro Guillén, the Vice Dean of the program. So congratulations on finishing the best, the longest, the most demanding, and the third most expensive MBA for executives in the world. I want to share with you 7 timeless lessons. 7, of course, is a biblical number, and so you should heed my pieces of advice as if they were commandments. The first one is a very simple formula for success. MBA plus BMW equals CEO. Please never buy a Tesla. You don't want to be seen driving a Tesla to the office. Number 2, Mark Twain, this is what he said. There are 2 situations in life in which you should not speculate with your money. The first is when you have very little of it. And the second is when you have a lot of it. Third, children are costly. But these days, nobody spends money on children anymore. Parents invest in their children. Thus, you should consider the cash flows involved. Before you have a baby, or before you have another one, calculate the net present value of your child prior to making the decision. Specifically, choose the discount rate very carefully. If you love children, then you should choose a discount rate that is smaller than the federal funds rate. In that way, your child will be more valuable today. If you don't like children, choose a really high rate. The higher, the better. Now, if you, there is an inverse relationship, therefore, between your love for children and the discount rate. And don't ever kill your children. Because you know what? Sunk costs are always irrelevant to any decision. Number 4, don't criticize nerds. Remember what Bill Gates once said, you may end up working for one of them. Remember us, the faculty, they're sitting behind me. We love teaching you, but we abhor grading your papers and exams, however brilliant they might be. Even when we have a TA or when we use AI. Let's give them a strong round of applause. Now, there's something about professors that I would like to tell you. We're about the most conceited and self-centered people on the face of the earth. Each and every one of us thinks that we are the world's most distinguished, most published, and most cited researchers on the narcissistic personality. We always pretend to have offers from other schools to extract better terms from Vice Dean, the Deputy Dean, I should say, Nancy Rothbard. And by the way, we do not get along together. In fact, a faculty, you should know, is a collection of mutually repelling particles held together by a parking lot. Number 6, no speech at Penn can end without invoking a quote by Benjamin Franklin. So my favorite is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yes, Benjamin once told me that. And number 7, this is the last one, this is not really a graduation ceremony. This is a commencement. And there are 2 very important differences between the two. The first is that now you're commencing a new phase in your life as an alum. And second, we will reach out to you if you make any decent amount of money. And by the way, we will have QR codes at the ready during the reception. Finally, if you would like to get the text of the commandments, I can send you a couple of granite stones. Or you can find them on Amazon. They cost $99.99. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Mauro. I'm Diane Sharp. I'm the director of the Wharton MBA program for executives, and it is my privilege for me to award and bestow the student awards. The MBA program for executives has a long-standing tradition of recognizing the importance of our community by honoring 3 students in each graduating class who have distinguished themselves through their contributions outside the classroom. These are students who their classmates recognize for the impact they had on the community through their qualities of leadership and engagement. They created opportunities to build camaraderie and celebrate, to learn from each other and hear from other business leaders, and to make the most out of their special 2-year WEMBA journey. We honor 9 students today, but the list of students receiving nominations was very long. No doubt each person in Class 50 uniquely impacted the community. First, we confer the Benjamin Franklin Award. This award is bestowed on the student in each cohort who exhibited a strong work ethic, demonstrated a practical application of ideas, fostered teamwork, and was quick to lend a helping hand to give back to their classmates. If you would please stand when I call your name and stay standing while I share the reasons that your classmates chose you for this award. We'll start with Philadelphia, and the Benjamin Franklin Award winner is Katrina Siegfried. Katrina's classmates describe her as the connective tissue of the cohort, the person who consistently elevated both individuals and the group as a whole. She went out of her way to support others, especially non-technical peers, helping them navigate tools, set up systems, and succeed in demanding courses. Beyond academics, Katrina fostered community by organizing WhatsApp groups, study sessions, and AI lunch and learns, creating a culture of collaboration and no one left behind. Her energy, generosity, and leadership lifted others through challenges. Simply put, Katrina is receiving the Benjamin Franklin Award because she made the entire class better. Congratulations, Katrina. All right, and in San Francisco, the Benjamin Franklin Award winner is Gerald Glover. Gerald consistently turned values into action and elevated the WEMBA San Francisco experience. A thoughtful and dependable teammate, he brought rigor and integrity to projects and class discussions while engaging others with respect and positivity. He stood out for his initiative in giving back, founding the San Francisco Campus Lending Library to expand access to professor-recommended resources and create a lasting legacy. He also led the class gift campaign and organized efforts that strengthen our community and encourage long-term contributions. Known for his strong character, collaborative spirit, and willingness to support classmates, Gerald exemplifies leadership, generosity, and commitment to the Wharton community, embodying the spirit of the Benjamin Franklin Award. Congratulations, Gerald. All right, and in our global cohort, the Benjamin Franklin Award winner is Sairam Krishnan. Sairam stands out for the consistency and substance he brought to every aspect of the program. He was always well prepared, contributed thoughtfully, and had a clear ability to connect classroom concepts to practical real-world situations in a way that benefited the broader discussion. Equally important is how he supported those around him. Sairam was generous with his time and knowledge, readily offering help and insight to classmates and strengthening team outcomes without seeking recognition. He approached his work with focus and discipline while maintaining a collaborative, grounded presence. Taken together, these qualities make him a strong and fitting recipient of the Benjamin Franklin Award. Congratulations. All right, next we award the Dean Patrick Harker Leadership Award. Dean Harker left Wharton in 2007 to become president of the University of Delaware, but left a lasting legacy. He provided the impetus for the establishment of Wharton San Francisco's campus to extend the school's global reach to new audiences and industries. This significant challenge required innovative thinking, perseverance, and leadership. The Dean Patrick Harker Leadership Award is presented to the students who best exemplify this spirit. In Philadelphia, the Harker Leadership Award goes to Chuck Lentz. Chuck was nominated for the Dean Harker Leadership Award because of his strong commitment to the WEMBA community and his classmates' success. He played a key role in coordinated communications and events, fostering collaboration and a sense of teamwork both inside and outside the classroom. Notably, he led efforts with the Wharton administration to launch the AI major, creating a forward-looking opportunity aligned with student interests. He also built practical tools that help classmates navigate their academic path and stay on track. Beyond this, Chuck was a trusted resource, offering guidance on courses and logistics. His leadership, initiative, and willingness to help others made a truly meaningful impact on the cohort. Congratulations. In San Francisco, the Harker Award goes to Charlie Shaw. And Charlie is not here today, but we will tell you why his classmates chose this award for him. Charlie showed up for people from day one. During orientation, he brought others together and made everyone feel included and heard. He became someone the class trusted to represent them, not out of obligation, but because he genuinely cared. What stands out most is the effort he put into creating opportunities for others. The lunch speaker series he built reflected his curiosity and his drive to help classmates learn, connect, and grow. He sustained it through persistence and a clear belief in its value. Charlie consistently focused on the collective over himself, leaving a lasting impact recognized by classmates who voted him the Dean Harker Leadership Award winner. Congratulations, Charlie. And in the global cohort, the Harker Leadership Award goes to Joo-Hae Kim. Joo-Hae was nominated for the Dean Harker Leadership Award for her exceptional leadership global impact, and unwavering support of her classmates. She played a key role in extending Wharton's global reach, representing the school across the US, Canada, and Korea with professionalism and pride. During Global Modular courses and the Global Week in Seoul, she went above and beyond, organizing airport pickups, meals, and activities to create a seamless, authentic experience. Beyond logistics, Juhae brought energy and positivity that uplifted the class, serving as a reliable resource for her peers. Despite professional and academic demands, she remained deeply committed to fostering connection and strengthening Wharton's global community. Congratulations, Juhae. And finally, we bestow the Dean's Spirit Award, which honors the student who has been a catalyst in bringing students together and contributed most to the Wharton experience by generating enthusiasm among class members to make the 2 years a remarkable experience. In Philadelphia, the Dean's Spirit Award goes to Jenny Lindvall. Jenny was the reason the cohort felt like a true community rather than simply classmates. From the start, she brought a genuine joy and energy that connected people. She took initiative, organizing activities, reaching out, and making sure no one felt excluded. What stands out most is her intentionality. Jenny didn't just plan events, she paid attention to people. She made space for everyone, celebrated moments like birthdays and holidays, and created an environment where individuals felt welcome. Whether through larger efforts or simple check-ins, she made others feel seen and included. Jenny truly was the heart of the class and exemplifies the Dean's Spirit Award. Congratulations, Jenny. All right, and in San Francisco, the Dean's Spirit Award winner is Becca Nordine. Becca is widely seen as the driving force behind the WEMBA San Francisco community, consistently bringing people together across cohorts. She took initiative in organizing both intimate gatherings and large-scale events, creating spaces where classmates could genuinely connect. She founded and sustained the WEMBA Dinner Club, offering a reliable, welcoming way to gather each weekend, and also led standout experiences like the Napa trip and themed celebrations. Her energy, inclusivity, and attentiveness made people feel seen and part of something bigger, often drawing in even the most introverted classmates. Many credit Becca with transforming their Wharton experience into something meaningful, fun, and lasting, exemplifying the Dean's Spirit Award. Congratulations, Becca. All right, and in the global cohort, the award goes to Katera Mujadidi. Kat played a central role in building community within the Wharton WEMBA Global Cohort. She consistently organized social events, dinners, and group outings during both international and domestic in-person sessions, helping classmates connect outside the classroom. She was particularly focused on making the experience inclusive and ensuring that all students, especially those traveling from abroad, felt welcome. She was a reliable organizer and connector, and encouraging interactions across the cohort. Her steady energy and initiative contributed to stronger relationships and a more cohesive class experience. Overall, Kat's leadership and commitment to inclusion made a meaningful impact on the cohort, making her deserving of the Dean's Spirit Award. Congratulations, Kat. All right, and congratulations to all our award winners. I'll turn it back over to Mauro.
So the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has met, and here are the winners for the Best Faculty Awards. The incredible Brian Boucher. Please stand up, but ovations at the end. Let's wait until the end. The unparalleled Brian Feinstein. The great Sergei Netishin. The one and only Nancy Ropart. The amazing Nikolai Sigelkau. The fabulous Ken Smetters. The unrivaled Carl Ulrich. And the most impressive Patty Williams, who couldn't be here today. Give them a strong round of applause. So now we're going to go into roll call. How about this? So I know I'm going to mispronounce exactly 15.6% of your names, plus minus one standard deviation, but please bear with me. Derek Hedbeni. Richard Douglas Lamb III. Anina Spletzer. Vamsi Krishna Adikamukseti. Nitin Agarwal. Syed Shakub Akhtar. Jan Alar. Vatsala Anuj. Saif Anawuddin. Eliyahu Ariaf. Bo Bao. Laurence Bauder. Nicholas Benson. Alpa Bhattacharya. Megan Boyce. Chris Brady. Nick Brink. Claire Carter. Grace Chan. Olga Chapligina. Sabine Chavla. Rahesh Chita. Kyehyun Cho. Melissa Cohen. Kayla Cook. Brian Wilbur Coyle. Kartik Das. Jessica Davis. Peter Day. Kristen Denser. Bianca De Stefano. Karishma Dugal. Patrick Ewane Esoman. Ryan Ferro. Nicholas Fetzer. Temitope Ayodele Folarani. Christopher Fox. Sam Fuld. Richard Gilmore. Jillian Golemaris. Gopichand Gotipati. Vish Gauri Sankar. Nishant Gupta. William Hall. Thilo Haman. Samuel Hartley. Yinyu Huang. George Iscaros. Sujay Jacob. Dinesh C. Janagam. Abhikesh Jonavitula. Janatik Joshi. Vishnu Kalamalat. Peter Ensung Kang. Stephen Kang. Sudha Kanapuru. Osana Klachikian. Jaejin Kim. Charles William Lentz. Alessandro Levi. Jenny Evelina Katharina Lindwall. Jenning Leo. Kirk Matson. Michael Lawrence Mahoney. Hold on. Yang Yu Mao. What happened there? Ian McGovern. Tanis McKenna. Matthew Meads. Shui Mei. Mai. Jessica Mendes de Pirsol. Jeremy Merrick. Eleanor Nemeth. Katie Newton. Jar Nisink. William O'Neill III. Ian O'Brien Cannon. Jose Olivares. Carl Owens. Horace Owino. Akash Parekh. Preston Purnell. Ronak Patel. Lisa Patak. Luis Enrique Pedraza Colón. Arian Rabari. Anrun Rajashekeran. Alberto Jesús Ramos. Abdil Rizwan. Nick Rocha. Colleen Roxon. Michael Rubanka. Oscar Ruiz Garcia. Thomas Shanik. Philip Sandiger. Sachin Anthony Santosh. Diwita Sawant. Colleen McVeary Schreiber. Justin Schwartz. Paige Elizabeth Seeley. Debasri Seth Maji. Vera Shi. Julie Shin. Kelly Sean. Katrina Siegfried. Robert Raymond Sobieski. Christian Summers. Anton Stetsenko. Ryan Terker. Mark Terranova. Karina Thakur. Min Tieu. Tracy Chung. Alexei Vladimiresky. Alexis Wallace. Fei Fei Wang. Ying Ying Wang. Mike Wang. David Weinstock. Gabriel Benjamin Wickiser. Jamie Williams. Bingru Shu. Nojan Somorodian.
And we have two more. If you would read the screen, the last two.
Oh. Amy Lee. Yue Ma. Yang Yu? Yeah. Yang Yu Mao. No. Oh, here. YQ Yang. YQ Yang. He was here.
All right.
Thank you.
And I will call out the names for the San Francisco cohort. Gerald Nicholas Glover III. Poonam Lambda. Song Chong Ao. Angela Argentati. Shelley Aurora. Aravind Balakrishnan. James Barrett. Laura Bass. Vinita Bhatt. James Brown III. Amanda Callahan. Ellen Wenxing Chong. Whit Child. Sean Christman. Jeannie Chung. Janina Correa. Bowen Dye. Rex Edward Daines. Jim Davin. Manatsa Dintiala. Dheeraj Duganeni. Sahar Agamal. John Fan. Reed Farnsworth. Jackie Fung. Brian Flaherty. Aaron Funk. Lex Furs. Miko Gazveski. Margot Gates George. Lauren Violet Gonzalez. Nicholas Sebastian Gonzalez. Sanjay Gulati. Jenny Gua. Sean Guthrie. Mike Harmon. Ankit Jain. Nooper Jain. Ansh Jarmawala. Sanchit Kakar. Bala Karaturi. Vladimir Katz. Rosa Kaviani. Peter Adam Carrion. Patricia Kiskila. Dylan King. Divya Krishnamurti. Ingu Kwak. Raekwon Christina Lee. Christopher Lee. Samuel Lee. Madison Lee. Jay Lin. Audrey Liu. Jack Laughlin. Bobby Mackay. John Macumber. Shailish Mane. Manoj Masan. Aditya Mohan. Robert Moldavsky. Megan Misakio. Murali Narasimhan. Patrick Ngako. David No. Catherine Nobles. Becca Nordine. Oliver O'Donnell. Hassan Pasha. Ivanka Pavleska. Christina Plumley. Arthur Polk. Stephen Tremaine Pryor. Raghav Ramabhadran. Ashay Rai. Akshay Saigal. Ashmita Sehgal. Kenny Sandhu. Kalpesh Kiraj Shah. Varun Singh. Kunal Singla. Michael Sinha. Claire Staggs. Drew Stern. Ben Reese. Star Sage. Hua Su. Jayant Subarathapu. Adil Usman. Banu Vemula. CC Wu. Xiangju Yu. Farah Zhang.
Andrea Marie Hepp. Adam Ton. Yuhei Kim. Natalie Berkey. Ogugwa Oji Chioki. Rory Kominski. Fata Emako. Dicta Fosumensa. Kevin Gondia. Patricia Golkowski. Geoffrey Ham. Rafi Khan. Jude Krishnan. Seirim Krishnam. Wang Yu Lee. Kevin Yethalal Makati. Douglas E. Malfar. Alim Manji. Caitlin McDonough Garcia. Kratira Mujahadi Mujadedi. Kartik Nagarajan. Takeshi Nagase. William O'Boyle. Jonas Pulver. Sean Russell. Parashar Saikia. Olukayore Samuel. Shashwat Saxena. Sandesh Singh. Mike Sugru. Niraj Upadhyay. Vishal Vasista. James H.P. Yap. Yoon Young Min. Shoming Joe. Joe. Sonia Gandhi. Where is he? No, this is
Yeah, just congratulate them.
Oh, okay. Congratulations again to all of the graduates. So next we're going to hear from Jim Savoy.
Thank you, Mauro. So my name is James Savoy. I'm the Senior Associate Director for Wharton Alumni Relations. To the Wharton Executive MBA Class of 2026, congratulations. It's truly an honor to welcome you today to this remarkable alumni community. Today, you join a global alumni network that is more than 100,000 strong, stretching across industries, generations, and more than 150 countries. The Wharton alumni community will champion you, challenge you, and welcome you with open arms. It thrives because graduates stay involved, give back, and support one another. This moment marks an incredible achievement and a life milestone for you and your loved ones who have supported you all along the way. Now, to officially signal that you've become a part of this amazing alumni community, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. Welcome, new alumni. So many of you have already strengthened your bond with Wharton by taking your part in the class gift. Thank you for playing a vital role in shaping the school's future. A huge thank you to this year's Alumni Fellows from all three cohorts, Wemba Philadelphia, Wemba San Francisco, and Wemba Global. Gerald Glover, Andrea Hepp, Poonam Lamba, Richard Lamb, Anina Spletzer, and Adam Tone. Thank you for working tirelessly to ensure the success of the class gift campaign. It's now time to present the class gift check. Together, the WEMA classes of 2026 raised $171,733.84. That represents 88% participation. Thank you. At this time, I invite Gerald Glover to present your class gifts to Deputy Dean Rothbard. Thank you. Dean Rothbard, I think there's an ATM outside you can deposit the check. Each year, a leader within the Wharton community serves as alumni marshal and passes the alumni flag to a member of the graduating class. We are thrilled this year that this year's marshal is Bruce Turker. Pardon me. Bruce holds his undergraduate degree from Wharton, a graduate degree from Arts and Sciences, and is a proud Penn parent today. A leader in private equity and alternative asset management, Bruce is the founder of Ballyshannon Partners, LP, and Odyssey Capital Corporation. He supported Wharton through his longtime involvement with the Rodney L. White Center for Financial Research and the Marshall Bloom Prizes in Financial Research as a former student of Professor Bloom. Bruce himself has also taught at Wharton with coursework in investments and corporate finance. We are delighted to have Bruce welcome you to the Alumni Network today. As Bruce passes the alumni flag to your classmate, Juhae Kim, please join me in celebrating this symbolic moment of connection between your class and the Wharton alumni community.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Juhae. And thank you to all of our 100,000 plus alumni around the globe who make Wharton's community the largest, most impactful, and most engaging alumni community in the world. As we close out today's ceremony, it remains my hope that each and every graduate understands how much this community is proud of and excited for you. And so, a final congratulations to the class of 2026. May your Wharton experience serve you well in your future endeavors, and may you always trust in the power of Wharton and yourselves. Congratulations again.
Thank you.